There's one behavior that immediately tells everyone in the room that a man is weak. And the worst part? The men who do it think it makes them look strong. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. But first, I need you to understand why this behavior is so destructive. Because once you see it, you'll notice it everywhere. In your colleagues, your friends, maybe even in yourself. Let me paint a picture. You're in a meeting. Someone disagrees with your idea. Not aggressively, just a different opinion. Watch what happens next. Watch the reaction. Because in that 3-second window, a man reveals everything about his internal structure. The weak man does something specific. Something that looks like strength on the surface, but broadcasts insecurity to everyone watching. He gets defensive. Now wait, before you think that's obvious, it's not, because defensiveness doesn't always look like anger. That's the amateur version. The more dangerous form is subtle. It's sophisticated, and most men don't even realize they're doing it. The sophisticated version looks like this: over-explaining. The moment someone questions you and you feel that heat in your chest, that urge to prove yourself, what do? You explain. You justify. You provide context, background, reasons, evidence. You build a case for why you're right. And every single word you say is a confession. Here's what you're actually communicating. I don't trust my own judgment enough to let it stand alone. I need you to approve of my thinking for me to feel okay. Your opinion of me matters more than my opinion of myself. You think you're defending your position. You're actually defending your ego. And everyone can tell the difference. But here's where it gets worse. And this is the part most men never consider. The more you explain, the weaker you appear. It's an inverse relationship. Every additional sentence dilutes your authority. Think about the most powerful people you know, the ones with real authority. When challenged, what do? They don't argue. They don't explain. They might acknowledge the other perspective. They might ask a question. But they don't defend, because they don't need to. There's a psychological principle at work here. When you explain yourself excessively, you're implicitly accepting that the other person has the right to evaluate you. You're positioning yourself below them in the hierarchy. A man with real internal authority doesn't accept that frame. He knows his value isn't determined by whether others understand or approve of his decisions. His self-worth isn't a democracy. So when someone disagrees, he can actually hear them. He can consider their point without his identity being threatened. He can even change his mind if the argument is good, because changing his mind doesn't mean he was wrong. It means he's intelligent enough to update his thinking. Now here's the part I promised at the beginning, the thing that makes this behavior so insidious. Defensiveness is a loop. It feeds itself. When you get defensive, people sense it. They either push harder because your reaction revealed a vulnerability, or they lose respect for you quietly. Either way, you end up feeling more insecure, which makes you more likely to be defensive next time, which makes you appear weaker, which makes you more insecure. This is how confident men slowly become anxious ones, one defensive reaction at a time, over years, until they don't even remember who they were before the loop started. So how do you break it? You have to catch the moment, that heat in your chest, that urge to speak, that need to be understood. And instead of acting on it, you pause. Not because you're weak, because you're strong enough to tolerate the discomfort of being misunderstood. Here's the truth that changes everything. You don't need to be understood. You don't need to be agreed with. You don't need to be validated. You need to be solid. A man who is solid doesn't explain himself because he doesn't need external confirmation of his own reality. He knows what he thinks. He knows why he thinks it, and that's enough. The next time someone challenges you, try this. Acknowledge their point, and then say nothing. Let the silence sit. Feel the discomfort. Don't fill it. That discomfort is your ego screaming for validation. Let it scream. Don't feed it. What happens next will surprise you. The other person will often back down, or they'll respect you more, or they'll realize their challenge wasn't as strong as they thought. And you'll realize something about yourself. You don't need their approval to know your own value. That's not weakness. That's the foundation of real strength.